Joseph Campbell, one of my favorite teachers, said, "In the cave you fear to enter lies the treasure you seek." I'm probably paraphrasing him there, but I want to talk about trauma. I want to talk about it in the way that might be helpful to some of you. Obviously, I'm not a trauma expert, but I have been on a journey myself, as many of you know, of healing my deepest trauma. So trauma can feel like a monster, can't it? Trauma can feel like this big, scary, even like dangerous monster inside of you. Trauma, and this is what the latest science is saying. Trauma is not necessarily the stuff that happens to us, the external circumstances. It's really the unprocessed grief and rage and terror that we hold in our bodies, the parts of us basically that we're afraid of. The parts of us, the thoughts in our minds, sensations in our bodies, feelings in our bodies that feel dangerous, that feel unsafe. Those are the dark caves within us that we are afraid to enter. I remember for years feeling as though there was this like monster inside of me, like that there was just something horribly wrong with me, and there were just parts of me that were just so shameful, so dark, so disgusting that I just couldn't go there. So I developed, as we all do in our own ways, I developed addictions. And an addiction really is just a way to escape yourself, a way to escape your pain, a way to escape your grief, rage that feels like it's going to tear you apart if you touch it. So there's a million ways that we can addict ourselves. We can distract ourselves with sex, drugs, shopping, the internet. We can become addicted to anything. We can become addicted to work, overworking, or actually underworking. We can become addicted to eating, overeating, or not eating enough. We can become even addicted to our own thoughts. It's just spiraling all day in our own thinking. Just anything to not have to go into that dark cave within. Because I guess on some level we fear that, I know I did for years, if I touch into those places, if I take a step into that dark cave, I'm going to be destroyed. I'm going to be eaten up. I'm going to disappear. I'm going to die. So that's what trauma is. It's, parts of us that just feel unsafe. The body does not feel like a safe place to be. Feelings do not feel safe. So what does it look like when we begin to take a step back into that dark cave, when through choice or sometimes we don't have any choice, through life circumstances we are forced to go within? Some of us just get exhausted, don't we? We get exhausted from running away. We get exhausted from running from ourselves. We get exhausted from that self-abandonment. Because deep down, I think on some level, we know, as Joseph Campbell so beautifully put it, and as all the ancient myths were pointing to, the stories that have lasted for generations, facing your deepest fear sometimes is exactly what saves you. You think it's going to destroy you, but it ends up saving you and healing you more deeply than you ever imagined. Somewhere deep down, you know that in that dark cave lies not the thing that's going to destroy you. It may destroy an old sense of self, an old version of who you were. But somewhere deep down, you know that actually your salvation lies in that direction. The treasure you seek, the gold of your authentic self, the gold of a new life, a rebirth. So here's the thing, your mind might tell you, right, okay, I need to heal. I need to sprint into that cave and slay the dragon and get it over with, and then I'll be healed. I need to do it all now. I need to do it very quickly. That kind of masochistic part of us, that spiritual masochist. I know that part used to be very active in me. I just want to get this done. I want to be with this fear. I want to be with this anger. I want to be with this grief. Come on. Like pushing myself, and it was like violent. So that's not the way. That's just the mind. The mind lives in time. What you have to understand is that there is no timeline for healing. You go at your own pace. And often the mind just wants to get things done. It wants to move on to the next thing. Yeah. The mind sees healing as a goal. It wants to, how do I get there? So I want to give you permission, not that you need my permission, but it's like it's an internal permission to slow down, to go at your own pace, to stop comparing yourself with anyone else, their version of healing, how quickly they healed. Or healing is not a destination. It's a step-by-step, moment-by-moment process of remembering your wholeness. There is no rush. There is no timeline. There is no, I have to be healed by, That's always the mind. So you can acknowledge that part of you and then just go slowly. Come back to this present step. Don't focus on the 500 steps, 1,000 steps it's going to take. One step at a time. That's really important to remember as well. Just that has saved me so many times in my life. Just one step, Jeff. One step. So you take a step into that dark cave. In other words, you stay with that feeling, with that urge, with that anger, with that grief, with that terror, with that loneliness, whatever it is, or with that joy. Some of us have trauma around joy. Some of us see joy as the terrifying thing in the cave. Some of us were taught as kids that we just weren't allowed to feel and express joy. We were ridiculed or punished or abused or shamed, called names if we felt and expressed joy, or we were just neglected. No one noticed. If we felt and expressed anger, if we felt and expressed grief, we were judged, shamed. Something wrong with you? Grow up. You don't really feel that. You don't really think that. Or we were told that certain thoughts that we thought and expressed, certain thoughts that we shouldn't have. What's wrong with you? How could you think that? That thought is sick. Sick again. So we came to believe that certain parts of us were inherently sick or wrong or bad or even evil, sinful. So those became the dragons in the cave, and we ran into our distractions and addictions until we come back to the threshold of the present moment. And we find ourselves taking that step back into the cave, staying with, this is the key. I'm going to stay with this feeling for a moment longer, perhaps, than I usually would. You take a step into the dark cave. You're present there. You breathe into it. And then you step out of the cave. This is not about being a masochist and forcing yourself into the cave. It's okay to go at your own pace and okay, that's enough. Okay, this is too intense. I'm going to move away. But just that single step, just one step into that dark cave, into that dark night. Just one step is it's like that thing, one step for man, one giant leap for mankind. That's a giant leap in your healing journey. One step is infinitely greater than no steps. And again, there's no judgment. There's no shame in not taking that step today. I'm not saying you even have to take that step today. But when you feel ready, you take that brave, courageous step into the cave, even if there's a part of you that wants to run, even if you're trembling and sweating. You take that step and then you step out. And then maybe the next day, or in a week's time, or in a year's time, or in the next minute, a minute later, you go at your own pace. You step back into the cave. You lean back into the abandoned material, the scary place in yourself. And you stay a moment longer this time, and you breathe into it, and you infuse it with your presence, with your curiosity. This is true meditation, by the way. This is true meditation, opening up to every part of ourselves. And you stay for a moment longer than you usually would. And this is how your brain, this is what the neuroscience is saying, your brain begins to rewire for presence, for safety. Your body literally begins to learn, oh, maybe this cave is safer than I thought. Maybe it's safe. Maybe I won't actually die. It's really intense. This is really intense and it's scary, but I'm here. I'm present. I'm still breathing. Check. I'm still breathing. You stay a moment longer and then you walk out of the cave or you run out of the cave, and that's fine. There's no shame. And then the next time, the next day, next week, next moment, back into the cave, leaning in, breathing into the anger, breathing into the fear, infusing it with awareness, drenching your experience with awareness. This is true meditation. You stay a moment longer, another moment longer, a few moments more than you usually would, and before you know it, you're deep into the cave, and then the monster appears. The seeming monster, the thing that feels like a monster, the part of you that you've been pushing away for so long that it seems monstrous. The more you run away from something, the more it feels like it's chasing you. That thing that haunts you. And at some point you face it. You know, I always think about Darth Vader in Star Wars. Luke finally meeting Darth Vader, the monster, the dragon, his arch enemy. And apologies if you haven't seen the movie, but I'm sure most of you have by now. Darth Vader turns out to be his father, a part of him, literally his blood. It was a part of him that he had pushed away, he had rejected, he had ran from. He had ran to his addictions, his distractions, but now deep in the cave of meditation, the confrontation, and you breathe into it, and you breathe into it, and you see it as one of those helpless parts. It's a helpless part needing your help. What a radical re-envisioning, what a radical new narrative. This part of me isn't trying to destroy me. This part of me isn't sick, isn't broken, isn't wrong. It's a part of me that it's helpless, it's powerless, and it needs my love, it needs my presence, it needs my breath. It wants to emerge into the light of awareness. This is literally enlightenment. Enlightenment is not a state that you discover one day. It's not an attainment. It's not something some people have and others don't. If we're talking about enlightenment, we're talking about the light that you are. As presence awareness, you are the light. You've always been the light, and everything just wants to emerge. Everything buried, everything shunned, everything abandoned, everything neglected tries to emerge back into your light. You are the light. You are that which enlightens every thought, every sensation, every feeling, every repressed emotion. And so then we get to the deep paradox, really, at the heart of trauma, and at the heart of trauma healing, is that we don't, like, technically speaking, we don't actually heal trauma. What really happens when we heal trauma is that we're actually getting back in touch with that part of us. Call it presence, call it consciousness, call it our original nature, our original innocence, that was never traumatized in the first place. It's like a remembering of the unbroken part of ourselves, a remembering of that unbroken, indestructible, timeless, ancient place within us, which is really unnameable, unspeakable. It's being itself that is present throughout even the most intense feeling states, the most intense thoughts, the most intense sensations in the body, the most intense feelings in the body. It is the capacity for experience. It holds all of it. It's not broken. It's not shattered. It's not diminished by any of it. It's the light in you, the light that you are, the light that never goes out. So that's what you're doing, you know, as you're walking into that dark cave, you are taking the light with you. You are the light. And you illuminate that cave as you courageously, step by step, walk into it and illuminate these shadowy parts. But maybe, you know, that poor little dragon, maybe that's what it's been waiting for its whole life, is for the light, for you, for you. Thank you for watching, friends. I hope this video was helpful, or inspiring in some way. As I say, I'm no trauma expert, but I have been on quite a journey myself with trauma healing, facing these dragons within myself. And so I just share from my heart. I hope that was helpful. And yeah, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, and I will see you soon in another video. Thank you so much.